Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the card. Coming with the flow, the barrio, and coming with the heat to the damn street. We ain't playing around. We gotta get our country right. Now they're beginning to talk and force this mandatory joint. So this is PBNN Point Black National News with the facts to crack their back. And we ain't playing. This is how we do. You know what I'm saying? Because we're looking at a lot of things that's going on today and they're not seeming right. This constant push for mandatory vaccines, I could understand not really what they're doing, because rather than causing people to get healthy, you're going to cause people to go into many different changes, because now you keep on locking them down, you keep on taking away their moving access and so on and so on. So we've got to do something about that, because that's not going to help our children and ourselves to stay in a healthy position, to constantly be forced and pushed into something. And now we see on Channel 12 News, even the college students are now protesting these situations and saying that it'd be a hostile situation when you're forcing these things down their throat. And we have to understand that that's not necessary. The children are healthy, let them be. What seems to be your problem, you know what I'm saying, when you look at the tests and the treatment, you know what I'm saying, of what they're doing, it doesn't seem very, good, because the test and the treatment, many seem to have forgot, you know, the I would say, what we call it, I would say forgot the taunting, or even during the pandemic, the constant pushing of the situation. You know what I'm saying? And then we were looking at, even when the CDC had tainted kits. You know what I mean? That was another situation that came up, tainted kits. You know what I mean? Knowing this was the plan all along. You know what I'm saying? Now many will see the difference in the situations that's going on. Many will see, because many seem to forget or don't want to think about something that may be of a situation where they have no explanation, basically. You see what I'm saying? Where they have no explanation as to how it got to this position. You know what I'm saying? But you have to start to think clear. You know what I mean? Now, so many will produce. You know what I'm saying? So many will produce, what they want to happen. You know what I'm saying? Many became the mice when we look at this situation. Many became the mice, from the lab. Now we see, by the sea. Now we see. Now we are looking, when we look at this thing, now we are looking at all Democrats, at all Democrats and all Democratic bull, because if you look at all Democratic states where the governor is a demon Democrat, look carefully, look carefully at how, we see the same repeat, like in California. And now even pushing over here in New York, saying it's at the highest level and this and that and the third. You know what I'm saying? We've got to come better than that, because if we consistently keep playing this game, then when will it end? When will it end? If you say you were curing, then how come it hasn't ended? You know what I'm saying? You basing it on something that you could lie to the people that say that it is this and it's that and the third and the fourth, but we see the difference. You know what I'm saying? Mass is even coming back. This method is called, to me, scram. It's actually called scrambling the eggs. Scrambling the eggs. Now the battle is outside. You see? Is outside as well as inside. You know what I mean? So we faced with a big problem. We faced with a big problem, because if it's outside as well as inside, you know what I'm saying, we fighting two fights, you know what I mean? Because we don't know where these people may be within the situation. You know what I'm saying? So where we go from here, you know what I'm saying, is to watch people like Fauci and Rochelle and these different people of the CDC. You know what I'm saying? We got to watch Fauci the Weasel and many others who is, you know, strong for certain things that are very upfront. You know what I'm saying? It's very upfront. So we have to start looking at that. You know what I mean? It's time for people to start opening their mind, even down to the voter rights situation. You know what I mean? Certain things to come up front. What will that be? You know what I'm saying? What will that be is the question. You know? But now, like I said, if we pay attention to even the border restrictions, you know, etc., you know, while your mind is up for grabs, you know, and that's the way the even Democrats want to trick. They put you, you know, your mind is up for grabs, and you have to come better than just what you're saying to people these days. You can't just say this and say that and a third. You know what I mean? Because your mind is up for grabs, and that's why you're in the situation. We in the situation that we are now. You know, that we are now. But that is not all. Let's look at the congressional, you know, Black Caucus Democrats. Let's be clear on that, so we know who they're working for. Who they're working for. You should know by now. You should know by now because you should be doing your research as to how many situations have transpired based on the things that black people have went through in America for many, many years. How did it get that way? How did it get that way? So we must be looking at the Black Congressional Democratic Party because they're supposed to be out there for black people and helping people out. You know, so let's be clear on that. So we know who they're working for. You should know. You know what I'm saying? But we must have some kind of order here. You know what I'm saying? Same for Como. Look at what he did. You know what I'm saying? Gavin. Look at what he is doing or what he did down in California. Biden. Look at what he did. You know what I'm saying? To our country. You know what I'm saying? At the same time. And still doing the same bull. You know? It doesn't make sense. You know, why? Is the question. You know? He said, and to me, most of these people were a part of the deep state. As a whole. Calling all cars when it comes to these cats. You know what I'm saying? They're deep staters and they're working for a higher power within their organizations. It's not just one of them, it's many of them. So we have to look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because they be called, when shit go down, they be calling all cars. You know what I'm saying? Trump is on, you know, on them. Trump is on ours. And he's on their heels. You know? He's on their heels. Be on the lookout. But the Trump be bad. Even Trump got his problems, you know what I mean? You know, Trump be bad, baby. Now, the right, we see the right, you know what I mean? And we are looking as well. We love the restrictions, but we are looking to see the true agenda of the far right and as well as the far left. And we see who, we will see who is the big helper. You know what I'm saying? Who's a big helper? You know? Because when you look at the demon Democrats, I call them, you know, the I love you group. The I love you. Yeah, the I love you crew. You know what I mean? And that, you know, and they don't love you at all. You know, their thing is if you're not with them, then you're against. Then if you're not with them, then you're against them. And you know what I'm saying? They have all kinds of ideologies such as this. You know what I mean? When we look at it, you know, when you look at the situation for many many years, and tell me what has changed, you know, and they don't love you. That's have never changed. But there are things they know how to do. You know what I'm saying? How to do. You know? You know, the nubby ones, we call them. You know? The nubby ones. Brain they know how to nub you up, rub you up. You know what I'm saying? They know how to brainwash you, you know. Too confusing. You know what I mean? Too confusing. Everything they do is too confusing based on a certain things. Now certain things they do, they're gonna make you seem like it's good. And it might be good. There's certain things that they do and put into place or whatever. You know? But that doesn't always mean that it was done on the aspiration of building our country back to its greatness or keeping it on its great path to make sure that things are going smooth. Because we know for a fact we are naive. Who in the world we think is 100% honest? That's not what we talking about. That's not what we talking about. We know a lot more crooked. That's not what we talking about here. We talking about none of that. We know a lot of people are crooked. For hundreds of years. You know? But they're confusing the people. You know? And that's plain facts. You know? They boss you. They boss you in and boss you boss you down. You know? Gain your trust and let you down. You know what I mean? Oh. But there goes up. No matter what you say. They always going up to some form of extreme till it leads to a lot of things that we saw happen, such as 9/11. Too much tricks. You know what I'm saying? Too much tricks. Even using protests to make you believe they are on your side. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. So, you know, I'm gonna come in with part two in a minute and hit the jammy jam. So we're gonna go from there. Stay tuned. You know what I mean? But we see that coming in. You know, part two I'm coming on a little more deep. It's gonna get a little more deeper. You know what I'm saying? Because they make you believe they are on your side when they want to bring down things that you know is protected and can hurt two-headed snake. So we got to be careful. But it's important to, you know, it's important to leaders in this country and the ones they remove. These things we are in. When these things happen, we are in danger for sure. You know what I'm saying? One is the filibuster. Two is the voter restrictions. You know what I'm saying? From what the Republicans is trying to put into place. And three, you know what's next. Let's wake up here. Nobody needs mandatory of anything upon their head. You know what I'm saying? So let's wake up here, people. Once they have been taken down, what's to stop the demon Democrats? You tell me. You ain't got no filibuster. You can't argue no bill. And if the bill is passed, it's gonna be passed right through. So we have to look at even the filibuster as something that we must keep into place based in government. I don't see why the Democrats would have brought up that topic about the filibuster when they know it was necessary to have that. Because even if they lose next year, they're going to need a filibuster once the Republicans get in there. So while they're busy trying to bring it down, they're really messing themselves up. But that's on them. We need to do more research on this. You know, that's why, that's why, they can pass mandates if this was to happen. You know what I mean? No problem. No filibuster. Passing right on through. Bypassing right on through. You know what I'm saying? Republicans and, they're going to definitely disrespect our country in many ways. The even Democrats use what we call, the persuasion. When you look at the persuasions that they put on people, a lot of their persuasions is done in such a way that people can't even really, really even get past some of that. You know what I'm saying? They still stuck on believing everything that they say. That's like believing in the Bible. You gonna believe everything they say? What happened to you? We ain't got no sense. You know, they're gonna definitely disrespect our country in many ways if this happened, especially with no voter restrictions. The demon Democrats would use what is called persuasion, action, or facts or persuasions. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna use this to persuade the masses of Americans down that road, and are being persuaded to follow them and believe them. But hold up a minute. In a political situation, or any political barrier, or any political voting or government or anything that has the type of government that we have, what are we? Why would you follow anyone? Why would you be so passionate to drive the people into a passion that they cause this type of confusion? Is the question. That's not politics. That's politics. Is what we have to look at. You see. You see. So, hold on a minute, come in with part two.